everyone. Welcome to another interesting episode of Conversations with Omobola. Today we'll be discussing a very important topic, an interesting one at that. And I'm not here alone. I'm here with a special guest. But what are we talking about today? Finance in marriage. We all know that finance plays a vital role in the success of a marriage. So today I'm not going to do it alone like we used to do. I have a special guest. He's the founder of Chapel of Life Church, United Kingdom. He's a relationship expert, is a seasoned counselor, and is a professional at that. With me, join me and welcome Pastor Omawumi Michael Efueye. We call him Pastor O. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mobola. It's a real pleasure to be here. It's a joy to be here.
Well, Pastor, I've been longing to have you on this platform, and I thank God for the grace to have you here today.
Wonderful.
All right, get yourselves ready. This topic that we're delving into deeply, you're going to learn from it. Okay, so Pastor, finance in marriage, really, we know that it plays a vital role in the life of the couples. So how do we begin this step? How do we take the step into financial decisions?
I think before we start to look at even the financial decisions, you must look at the whole concept of marriage. All right? God's idea was this. He said, a man will leave his father and his mother, will cleave to his wife, and they two will become one flesh.
Yes.
And then he actually warned in the New Testament that what therefore God has joined together, let no man put asunder. So the whole idea is that two people, two whole individuals, two complete, not half. You see, you hear people say, my better half. That doesn't make sense, because you don't marry half a person. You marry a whole person, and you can't marry unless you're whole. So two whole people come together and they get married. Now, in that decision, a lot of stuff happens. There's a spiritual unity, so they are joined together spiritually. There's a physical unity when they have sex,
Yes.
which is what, and then results in babies.
Yes.
You know, and everything else. So there is also financial unity, which means that we are one in that decision. So you can't come into marriage and expect to remain, in that sense, financially independent in that sense. You know, there's a sense in which you are independent in the sense that you make your decisions and all that, but you are joining with somebody else, and whatever you are doing is going to be affecting that person, and whatever that person is doing is going to affect you. Did you not know that when you marry somebody, you actually take on their liabilities and their assets?
True.
That's why when even in legal process, when there's a divorce, you sit down and you divide the assets.
Yes.
Because you're one. You don't say, oh, this one's mine, this one's yours. No, we sit and we say, these are the joint assets. How do we divide? So it's very important that people understand that when you come together in marriage, you become one, and that affects every aspect of your life, including your money, including your relationships with your family and your friends. Everything changes because you are no longer. Why would you remain the same when you are getting married? Because when you are not married, you are an individual, and that's who you are.
Yes.
So you get married, and how do you expect that you still remain the individual you were when you got married? It doesn't make sense. So a change actually takes place, and it affects the finances as well.
Well, yeah, exactly. Really. Now, that particular point now takes us to a joint account. What is your take on it now? Because when I was single, I was making the financial decisions myself, for myself alone.
Yeah.
Now that we are two,
Yeah.
how do we bring all this thing together? Now, what's your take on joint account? Do you really believe in it?
Okay, well, that's a very interesting question. It's one that causes a lot of conflict, but it doesn't need to. You see, God is so wise. He gives you choices. The fact that you become a Christian doesn't mean you stop being a person. It doesn't mean that you lose your right to choose. So God gives you that right to choose, even in your relation, your worship of God. You decide how you want to worship God. He tells you what to do, and then you bring your personality into it. So this issue of accounting is a very simple of a joint account. It's a very simple one. Some families find that having a joint account works for them. So what they do is they immediately have a joint account from which they both operate.
And
That
they're both
works.
signatories to the account.
Yes, so both of them are saying that works for some people. Now, most people I know still have their individual accounts, because obviously you work and you're going to be paid into that account and all that. Then they open a joint account, so they take from their personal account and service the joint account. So some people do that, and that works also. But some people actually don't have a joint account. And I'm one of those. My wife and I, we actually don't have a joint account. So we don't have a Carol Omawumi account. We don't have that. But what is critical, whether you do it any of those three ways, or there might even be some other ways which I don't know, but whichever way you do it, God is not as interested in whether you have a joint account. What he's interested in is that you have joint accounting.
Joint accounting. Pastor, please
Can I explain what that means? Because I know that that's a phrase that some people may not be conversant with. So what that means is this. So I have my personal account. My wife has her personal account. Okay, but then we have a home that we run, and from that home we pay our bills, we pay our tithes, we pay all that. We give our tithes. We don't pay tithes in the New Testament. We give our tithes, and then things that pertain to the children, things that pertain to bills and all that. So what we do, we sit down and we have a template. So we decide who's paying what. Okay, so from who's paying what, we service. So let's say, for example, I'm paying the rent or the mortgage and the children's school fees, and that comes to £1,500, and I have 1,000.
Okay.
So she gives me 500 towards it. So that's 1,500. So that's taken care of. So so we do that right down to the smallest things. Okay. So we don't necessarily all put everything into one account, but we sit together and we do it. We account for everything together and then allocate resources. So if she's going to be taking care of something and the resources are in my account, I pay into her account, and then she takes care of that and all that. So now why we like that system is that it gives each of us that sense of freedom and liberty. So she's not having to account for every little penny she wants to buy makeup, and I say, how much did you spend on me? And which is quite ridiculous.
Exactly.
She's a grown woman, I'm a grown man. So so what we do is but we know what comes in every month. And we know what goes out.
Yes.
So that's what joint accounting is. That's actually what accounting is. Accounting is just income and expenses.
Exactly.
That's what accounting is. And then, of course, investments and all the other side things. And you're trying to multiply your sources of income and reduce your outgoings. That's basically what accounting is. And making sure that the books balance. And a person who's rich is not a person who earns a lot of money.
Exactly.
It's a person who spends less than he earns. That's a rich person. So if you're a multi-millionaire and you are spending billions, you are very poor. And if you are earning 1,000 and you are spending 800, you are rich, because you are going to be putting away 200 every month.
Exactly.
So that's what we do. So it's a question of what's coming in. Now, what I advise new couples to do is there's a template that the bank gives to you when you want to take a loan or when they are doing assessment. It's very simple. You can get it. You can even download it from. It's an income and expenditure form, which outlines to the finest detail what comes in every month and what goes out. So every source of income and then every outgoing. So it lists everything from your mortgage to what you spend on magazines to what you spend on leisure, what you spend on food, what you spend on insurance, it actually breaks it down. So I always encourage everybody to download that form at the beginning of your marriage. In fact, you should be doing that as a single person anyway, because everybody needs to be accountable.
Yes.
So you do that, and then so when you come together, you now have that form jointly. So we now know you are getting 500, I'm getting 400. So we're getting that's 900 that's coming in. We're getting rent from Baba's house. So 200, we add that and everything. And so at the end of it, you know what's coming out. Then we break it down. What's going out? What's going out? What's going out? And then we do that. So that's more important than whether we're putting it all into one account or whether you have your account and I have my own. And what is important is that we know what's coming in, we know what's going out, and we're planning, and we're on top of it on a regular basis. Because sometimes something happens, like now, with all the energy prices going crazy, people have to start checking that what's coming in, you know. So again, the adjustments have to be made. So it's not just, we've written it once and for all and then we leave it. No, it's a constant, you're monitoring it all the time, constantly checking to see that.
Yeah, but this can actually work in a marriage where there's full transparency. Really.
And every marriage should be fully transparent.
Exactly.
So you see, again, it brings me back to the first statement I made, that a man will leave his father and mother, cleave to his wife, and they become one flesh. A lot of marriages are not even obeying that basic principle. So if you're not obeying the basic principle of, why do you, I always ask some people, why do you get married if you do not want to relinquish your individuality?
So please hold that thought. We're going to go on a break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
تابعونا.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Keep watching. Keep watching.
Keep watching. Keep watching Conversations with Omobola. God bless you.